2024 keeps getting a lot weirder as it progresses. We only have a month and a half left, but more and more crazy things keep happening. This is not something I ever expected to see, but Araki, the artist and writer of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the man that created this entity himself, has made a comment on AI artwork and how it's not just affecting him, but how it's going to affect the manga industry as a whole. And obviously, he doesn't talk about anime, but as AI continues to progress and evolve, it's eventually going to affect anime as well. So I want to read this first before I go any further, and then let's just dive headfirst into what's going on here and what the actual problem is. So, speaking about society evils, I think that as AI continues to spread throughout society, we're going to see an increasingly shady world filled with scammers exploiting it. Recently, I came across a drawing and thought, this is something I drew, right? I was shocked to find out it was actually created by AI. When I draw manga, I add subtle, personal elements that make the work uniquely mine. But this AI-generated piece even mimicked details like the way I draw eyelashes so precisely that it was almost impossible to tell it apart from my work. If it were based on recent drawings, I know right away. aka, let's say JoJo Part 7, Part 8, you get the point. He would know right away. No, I didn't draw this, but on the other hand, I honestly wouldn't be able to tell the difference if it was done with my art from about 10 years ago, when my memory of it would be a little hazy. The more AI advances, the more this kind of thing will happen. Art reflects the times, and manga, and it is one example of that. Seeing this world of con artists appear in manga could very well mean that we're headed for a future world dominated by fraudsters. This type of evil in today's age will undoubtedly end up impacting manga down the line. Copyright infringement by AI is also a villain that we manga artists must face. The extreme scenario is that AI-generated fakes might start becoming accepted as the real thing. And even if we try to protect our work, these counterfeits are becoming so accurate and so sophisticated that it's no longer a fight an individual can win, aka an artist, aka like the manga author. Having some kind of laws could probably be the only way to regulate this. However, because we're dealing with the world of con artists, there's also a very real possibility that laws favoring them will appear before we know it. Personally, I entrust my copyright management to Shueisha, but some manga artists are lax in managing their copyrights, leading to others using their artwork without permission or even leaking original drawings. When I see that, I worry that they might face serious trouble down the line if they don't take it more seriously. This is honestly not something I expected to read today. When I opened up social media and I saw this is the page that posted it, by the way. They are like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Encyclopedia. I'm assuming they translate a bunch of stuff that Araki says and all that. You can say they posted quite a bit, but this is one that really stood out to me. And that is the fact that Araki's comment on AI is a warning. It is a canary in a mine situation to where if it is not listened to, it's going to end up being a very drastic and dire situation, not just for artists, but for the manga industry itself. Because one thing in particular that this is leading to is fake information getting out there. And let's explain that one. Araki himself even explained that the AI art is getting so sophisticated that it is able to perfectly replicate the intricate details that he personally adds in as an artist that normal people wouldn't do. And the AI is replicating that perfectly, almost to the point where he can't even tell the difference. The own artist can't even really see the difference between AI work and his own. That's just how close of a resemblance it is. And as time continues to creep on and it gets more and more evolved as, you know, AI art does, it's going to get to the point where people will start looking at, let's say, fully generated AI chapters of certain manga or something, and they legitimately might think it's actually real. That is the scary possibility that he's thinking about, is that there could be images or chapters that come out or just full-blown AI-generated artwork, and it looks so realistic, so in-depth to the original source, that you can't even tell the difference, and it can confuse a lot of people, and people could potentially make profit off this as well. That's one scary thing that potentially he's bringing up. But also another thing he's mentioning too is that with the evolution of AI artwork and all that, it's going to get a lot harder to, you know, people to resist maybe even using it themselves, because obviously if you could generate something that's just so like, so similar to the original piece or other forms of art styles, you're gonna have these newcomers that maybe come into the manga industry trying to draw, and they will also incorporate AI artwork with their drawings as well. So this can definitely lead to a very vast change within the manga industry if left unchecked. Now, I have been very vocal about this in the past, and I obviously am not an artist, so I don't have really much to really say about the artwork department, besides what I'm just reading out here, trying to be as neutral as possible on it. But I will say, regardless of my stance, like, on anything, I don't think artwork should be stolen from artists without their permission. I think that's completely wrong. I'm just going to say it right now. But I do think that regardless if people like it or love it, AI, even if you don't want it, it is being pushed into the future. It's going to happen, even if you want it or not. It's evolving. So what Araki brings up is that regulation is the only way to really combat it, because AI is here, it is to stay, and it's going to keep growing as time goes on. So regulation, in this case, what he's trying to probably say is how AI artwork can be even used. For instance, how it can incorporate or use different images or artwork to create something. I'm assuming more or less that that's what he wants. And I think, in general, the general populace, even if they are for AI, probably agree that there does need to be some form of regulation. I think having completely unregulated stuff on that probably would not be for the best, because it could lead to a lot of damages. I mean, let's think of, like, deepfakes, for instance, with, like, how deepfakes can be made for certain individuals or very famous people. That's very dangerous in of itself. So it's like, I can understand Araki's point of view, that there does need to be something put in place to combat this, but as more and more, people use AI and it becomes more and more accepted, rules and laws might be put in place to actually embrace AI to the point to where the original artists and copyright owners might not really have a word or thing to say about it. So that is something to really note. But anyways, this is quite a discussion, because this is very relevant to what I'm about to show is that this piece of artwork right here, at first glance, it looks like Miku. It's a cat Miku, and obviously, because of the context of this video, I think you kind of already understand that this is AI artwork, but this is fooling people on social media right now. There's a lot of people talking about it. It's got 10 million views, as you can see here, and legitimately, very big artists and a lot of people all over social media is legitimately faking that this is actually drawn, and then they turn around and find out that this is actually AI. Now, this actual profile here is not trying to hide it. You can literally see it right here, that they straight up say they do use AI, so it's not like they try to hide that they're using AI artwork or anything, but this artwork is just so realistic to the point that it is fooling a lot of people. And one thing people have tried to point out is the hands, because obviously that's one indication to see if it's AI artwork or not. And if you look closely, there is a line here at the top of this hand right here, and none over here. There is differences, but because of how the discrepancy is so minuscule, it leads people to believe that it just might be an artwork error, because artists do make errors sometimes when they're drawing something. So there is even little minor details here that could just be chopped up to just an artist error instead of just AI messing something up. And that's crazy. AI has evolved to the point to where the common individual really cannot tell the difference. And when it's gotten to that point, it's really like, Araki said himself, it's a fight you really can't win. So yeah, I wanted to bring this up. This is very relevant to the discussion of this situation with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you think about Araki's take on AI artwork? Do you think that, it's going to, come into manga culture and really, do something to it? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. But with that, guys, I love you. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.